Alright everyone, welcome back for another video for this week of altered gameplay. First double up that we have on the channel, we are revisiting our Nevenka and Blotch Lyra Festival deck. So, we've made a few changes. If you want a visual aid to see what changes we've actioned, I'm going to go through them right now, but you can see them on the other video, go check it out. They're actually in the thumbnail, so you don't have to sit through another hour of me waffling on, but I would appreciate it if you did. Alright, we've gone down on a couple of removal options, so Acapella Training and Twinkle Twinkle came out, as well as a copy of Sandman, and in its replacement spots, we've added 3 copies of Nyala, Gifted Conjurer, at Coppin. We've upped the count of hypothermias to 3 and an extra copy of Sleight of Hand. So we've removed a little bit of draw, which I'm worried about. We've also removed ways of affecting sleep on our opponents, actually down 5 versions of that, if I'm correct. Nope, just 4. And we've gone for a bit more cycling through what goes into reserve. So we're really hoping that being able to make use out of our cards more than once is going to make up for that issue of less removal, or temporary removal, I suppose, because it's all sleep. We've switched it up a little bit with the uniques as well, so we've kept the Hathor around. That's kind of just too good, too flexible to take out. But we've got a copy of Haven Sayringer here, if it loads. Let's see, help us out. Alright, not going to load, so we're going to have to open the info sheet here. So basically it's a 1 drop from hand, 2 drop from reserve. And if you put a card from hand in reserve, the next card is cheaper. And if it was fleeting, you can put a spell from reserve back into your hand. So it does recoup the card that way. Not too sure about that one, but we'll see how it goes. I do like having 1 drops in the deck, so we'll keep an eye on him, as we always do with our uniques. And we've got a copy of Kadama here, which gains a sleep from both hand and reserve, and when it leaves you roll a die. So a bit more spell recursion there. We're really hoping to take advantage of that. Both of them put a spell back in hand. We've only got 8 in there, so that may be a bit low of a number to effectively use them. So we'll keep that in mind. Everything else has stayed the same. We're hoping to get a bit more value out of the Hatters by putting them into reserve. Those are basically going to be free, as well as our copies of Cloth Cocoon, which have fleeting. So playing them from hand or reserve, both end up with them in discard anyway. But we're going to try and cycle back our Croupiers, our Esmeraldas, our Tanukis, and our Sandmans, which all have abilities from hand. So if we can get extra value out of those, we'll be very happy. If not, we will be very sad. Alright, that is the majority of the changes that we've made. Hopefully we can have a good showing of the deck. Let's crack on with it. On to game 1. See you there. Hey everyone, welcome back. Version 2 of our Lyra Festival deck. Let's see how it goes. I'm particularly excited about the Nyala. We'll check in, see how we go. Deck's gone through a little bit of testing, but this is pretty fresh off of the previous video that we posted on the channel. So what are we thinking about here? Okay, probably a bit early. Okay, 3 copies of something that swaps stuff around is probably too much. We don't play a lot from reserve, so I think we get rid of the Sleight of Hands and the Tanuki here. Then our first turn can be the Mage Dancer, and we see what we do from there. Not a very strong hand to start. We'll talk about that during the review, I suppose, but we'll keep track of how good our opening hands are and see if our low end needs to be adjusted. I did have a go at that while playing other things. Oh. How kind of our opponent. Yeah, I think we put it to sleep first. See what they want to do after that. They play a floral tent. Doesn't really matter where we play it. And do we high roll for the anchored? Oh, I'm so concerned we're going to hit a 1, but we're doing it anyway. We got a 6. We're geniuses. Always had it. 1 in 6 chance. What is that? 16.67%. Played perfectly. Alright, what do we get rid of here? We keep the... Oof. Getting rid of the Mage Dancer is stressy here. Obviously we could continue to play the board, but we do have... I like the resupply. Maybe this is a chance to get rid of Nyala. Yeah, it's a bit early for her. I think the other cards that we have in our hand are just better. We've got the Lyra Festival, so we can send any more copies of that to mana now. I experimented with a version of this deck in between this and the previous video, recorded a couple vids with it and then realised I hated it. Did cut down the Lyra Festival to 2 copies, which was far too stress inducing. To progress. Alright. We'll play the Mage Dancer. And then I think when they pass the turn, no matter what they do, we'll roll the die, we'll target Esmeralda. Suppose we could target the Mage Dancer. But in that case, we'd probably be hoping for... We'd hope for a 2, 3, 4 or 5, so we've got a 2/3 chance of actually succeeding here. Because if that is the result, we end up in a situation where we move forward and they do not. We'll target the Mage Dancer. We'll see what we roll. We get a 2. Alright. So 1, 2, 3. We pass, we move forward. Mage Dancer continues to be one of the best cards in the deck. Maybe we'll try a list later down the track that doesn't have it in it. Alright, Tanuki, Esmeralda, 2 Mage Dancers is a lot, and I kind of like the Hypothermia for giving us sleep, considering we have no other options for that out of the reserve. But but we're going to be jonesing for creatures. So the Lyra Festival deck needs 3 creatures on board in order to succeed. We've got access to only 1 right now. Kodama and Martingale. Alright, how do we do this? I think we play the Mage Dancer and the Martingale this turn. Oh. Although that would leave us short on mana. Next turn. Alright, we get rid of the Kodama, I think. Martingale's just too good here. We'll have to hope for another creature next turn, a cheap creature, or... Okay, so we need access. We've got fleeting, we've got a sleep, we've got anchored, we need a 3rd creature. How do we formulate that so we have it next turn? Hanari's good. Do we challenge there? We'll play the Mage Dancer. Yep, that's reasonable. They would like to draw cards. I've heard that is quite good for winning games. We'll play the Martingale over this side. We'll let that go to reserve. So at the moment we're praying for a creature off the top of our deck and for 2 1/3 dice rolls. 1 in 3 dice rolls. So we need to get anchored this turn for the Mage Dancer. Anchored next turn as well. Right, we'll roll our die, target the Mage Dancer. We got a 5. Close but no cigar. I think we have to play the Hypothermia now and hope for some way to get anchored off the top of the deck. They'll just give it to their Inari again. I suppose we still look like we're trying to move forward with the game here. And, you know, we are progressing towards that as a win con, but I really like the idea of winning with Lyra Festival. So we need a way to give anchored off the top of the deck right here, which we are sorely missing. Especially for ways to do that from such little mana. Play our Martingale. We're going to try and give that anchored this turn because keeping the fleeting around was the most important thing here. And the dice roll will be more important to us than the extra stats if we do pivot onto this Lyra Festival win, as I am trying to do. What are we doing here? Target character. It's green in addition to its other types. Target the Martingale. Give us a 5. Sometimes you just have to ask. Do we cast the festival here and give our mage dancer anchored? There is value in hiding this information from our opponent. And it's probably sending us too far away from actually winning if they do discard it. So that's a stressor. But we do lose our mage dancer here. So we could have given the mage dancer anchored, kept 2 fleeting creatures around. Then we would just needed a way to give something a sleep and something anchored as well. But I think that's asking too much from the deck with 2 draws. We'll pass turn. See what they want to do. Probably not much. I hope not much. Gonna give the Moon Merchant anchored. Or they're oh no, can't do that. That's alright. Curious. I think we pass turn here. We've got options to play the Hatter and Esmeralda, which we are going to take. We'll play Esmeralda on the hero side. See what we get from reserve. Okay, that's a source for anchored. Do we hope they play the Aya? Aya? Aja? Aja? How do you say that? I think Aya. Aya. There's a lot of ways to say it. No, they just give something anchored. Disappointing. I wanted more mana. They play a Mowgli. We need this for anchored for next turn. Or do we? We play the Hatter. I'll nurture both their things. This one doesn't matter. Come on, all I'm asking for is another 5. Disappointing. Okay, so we've got fleeting, we've got anchored. Need a way to get asleep. Hypothermia. We've only got 2 creatures we have access to. Okay. Alright, how do we succeed here? I mean, we could just challenge for the board. We'll have enough mana to play Lyra Festival and Aloe Vera, but then they can sort of just do whatever they want. 6. Okay, how do we finesse this? Okay, we've got 7 mana. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll give us fleeting for next turn. Try and keep the Martingale around as well. Again, praying for 2 1/3 chance rolls. Okay, we've got three rolls to play with. So we play the Martingale. I think every great turn that we play starts with that. Play the Esmeralda, I think, and we try and give it anchored. We try and give Martingale anchored. God, this deck is so hard to play. I have no idea if what I'm doing is right or not. Oh no. See, I spent all this time thinking about Lyra Festival wins. And then I may just fall. Okay, Persephone. 9, 3. Okay, so I'm justified, you know. If they hadn't played anything there. Hey, we rolled a 6. 1 of 2 rolls done. So we'll keep that around. So we just need a creature off the top of the deck that costs 4 or less. We pay 1, give it anchored, because I want to resupply. That gives us another look at a creature. We pass the turn. We're still ahead, technically. But back to my first point there, had they not played Persephone out of hand and just passed the turn, we could have just slept their Son of Yggdrasil with our Lyra Festival and won that way. So, we have options. Worst case scenario, we resupply the other Lyra Festival off the top of our deck. Panic bells start to ring for them. Thankfully that happens after they've put a card in reserve, into mana, so hopefully they just end up with the 1. We could in theory just win here as well, depending on what they want to do. Excuse me. And is the Sandman the done thing? Alright, if we can fade any sort of permanent removal here, give me that back. Let's go down here. Sorry about that. Okay, Esmeralda. Can't play that. A 1-drop we could have. They did not send anything to reserve. So we'll play the Sandman. Give our Martingale sleep. Hopefully alarm bells are ringing in our opponent's head. They have to play something. Persephone, they're tapped out. We're happy about that. We don't even have to worry with this. We'll target the Sandman for anchored. They'll pass. We'll pass. There we go. We got one. God, that took like 4 or 5 turns of actually trying to think about how it is that we're gonna finish the game with that Lyra Festival. This deck is too stressful for me. But that's one and done. Oh, they've dropped a message. We made them cry. Alright, GG's. On to game 2. Alrighty, here we are, game 2. Festy v2. Let's see what it is that we've got. We're playing second on turn 1. We'll see what our opponent has for us. Alright. Sira and Kaizaman, we're probably not going to have a lot of time to try and sculpt a good hand, so we're going to have to let the deck do a lot of the work for us. Hathor, Lyra, Festival are both looking pretty good here. Although they're not that strong turn 1. None of the cards in our hand are very strong turn 1. Do we just play the Tanuki? Let's see. This is going to be very, very funny if they play a Haven Bravos Bastion on turn 1 and we just snipe whatever they play out of into reserve on turn 1. I think that's not the best play, but it is definitely the one that we have based on a specific 3 of that they have in their deck. Oh, this is suspenseful. They're thinking about something. Okay. We'll play on the same side. So they're probably just going to ramp into Oblivion. We're expecting Sakurabru and Eat Me Energy Bars at the top end. See what they choose to do with the rest of their mana on this turn. Reasonable. I am not going to risk putting our Tanuki back into the bin. Okay, you know what this deck might need? We'll come back to that thought. See what we do with the rest of our hand. We'll get rid of Sleight of Hand because we have access to the Tanuki anyway. If they play Haven, they can't play Skadi out of hand, so we'll sabotage the Tiny Djinn, stop them from ramping and force them to play something from hand if they want to win. This one is number 2 Nuki for the game. See what they want to do. If they have a 1-drop, you know, they'll be able to play it, win or block us on the companion side, but they may just choose to trade here. Keep everything consistent. Alright, so currently our win condition costs us 7 mana on a turn. Alright, while we've got time, what I said before, what this deck could need. Alright, they sabotage as well. Interesting choice. Tanuki's not that important. I choose not to do the thing. Alright, so we didn't have the time we thought. But, Paper Heralds. Playing something out of reserve. We resupply a lot. So Paper Herald might be able to get into the bin. It gives us an extra creature off of no mana investment. Oh, that sleight of hand might have been good here. That's okay. We're okay with this. Put the Hatter away. We're currently looking a few turns ahead, so we're going to play the Aloe Vera this turn. That's going to be our only play. If they want to contest or trade, they're going to have to put 4 power into it, which is going to cost them, presumably, on rate, 4 mana. From what we can see, it will cost them 5. But what we're hoping here is we play Aloe Vera this turn. We play Aloe Vera next turn. Oh, not next turn. We play something else next turn. Alright, common Bravos Bastion. Alright. Alright, we're going to start ripping through some of our deck. But I'm going to make a note for later, because Paper Herald may be actually a banger choice for this game. You can hear my notepad in the background. Game 2. You know, Paper Herald may be the absolute choice. Alright, we risk it for the biscuit. We roll 3. We tie everything up. Ain't too mad about that. Cost them a card and we keep something around for next turn. Happy days. Paper Herald may be the exact card that we're thinking of. So turn 1, having 1-drops is very good, even though they are pretty short on stats. I think they're 0, 1, 2 off the top of my head. We'll check that in the deck tech. And then creating a trooper from reserve for no mana may actually make our win conditions much more achievable if we resupply into them. 2 Lyra festivals is exciting here. I think we'll get rid of that one, hold on to the sleight of hand. Only in very extreme circumstances will we be putting anything into reserve. Alright, Martingale's good. Another option here might have been to play Tanuki instead of Martingale and play 2 next turn. That's cool, we cool. What do we get? We roll a 2, so it gets an extra boost. Does that change anything? Don't actually want to give them any... Don't actually want to give them any sort of information that we're gunning for a Lyra Festival deck. We haven't seen any removal out of them, which means either they don't play any, or much more likely, we haven't forced them to use it yet. Okay, I'm looking at the Hathor, playing that, because we can sleight of hand it back to hand if we can keep the game running long enough. We'll give our Martingale anchored. Doesn't really matter, but we've invested a boost into it, so it's cool. So that'll be our fleeting creature. If we can play Aloe Vera next turn. Okay, we'll have Aloe Vera and Hathor in hand, sleight of hand to put something back into our hand. We're saying hand a lot there. Because we're getting rid of Tanuki. I think that's pretty much a given. We're trading here. We could have gone ahead. That may be some form of flag to our opponent. We'll pass the turn here. Alright, so they may have been concerned about hypothermia or something like that. Definitely could have had that in hand. But we'll see what they want to do. Or they're just trying to put the Sarenga into reserve so they can get that draw next turn. We trade again. Running out of time here, but we're still looking a turn or two into the future. Sleight of handing the Tanuki. No, they're going to have first dibs. If we'd played second that turn and we knew we were playing first next turn, we might have kept the Tanuki around. Okay. Can we win? We cannot win this turn. I'm fairly certain of that. I'm 100% certain of that. But how do we win next turn? We need 3 creatures, so we need to keep our Martingale around. We need to keep one of our reserve creatures around. So I think if we have 7 mana, so we sleight of hand back Hathor, play Aloe Vera. That's 5. Hypothermia something. Again, this deck lives or dies by its ability to give something anchored. I'm a little concerned about that choice for the game. Keeping the Sandman around. We'll revisit that in the deck review. See if okay. Gain a boost, they're going to exhaust something, we don't actually care. Alright. All good things start with a dice roll. We get a 1. We put a boost on Nevenka. If we play the Hypothermia, we're going to be forced to reveal Lyra Festival to sleight of hand. So I think we cast this, put Hathor back into our hand, the Hypothermia. They know they have to play another creature. We see what they choose to do. They play the Sayringer. We Hypothermia. They have to give something. Sleep. Aklut? I don't know how to say that. What are you giving sleep? Shouldn't be a difficult decision. Because you know we're probably just going to sleep whatever it is you have next turn. Okay. If they have any ways to give something boost, we're going to be in trouble because they can just exhaust one of our creatures. It may be time to reveal our Lyra Festival. I don't want to give them any idea that it's coming though. Alright, we're going to do it. Give this guy a sleep. Pass turn. That may have been a goof. We needed the enters ability from the festival to actually win this turn. Yeah, I goofed. Massively. And I've missed a line this turn as well. We could have sleight of handed the aloe vera back. No. No, I'm just dumb. Yeah, I'm dumb as hell. So this is why we don't play the Lyra Festival early. A great case study. It was against my better judgment. Did it anyway. Just to try and keep the game going a bit longer. So we're going to have to hope for something happening after this. I'd once again at the mercy of the top deck. Although I suppose it is good bait. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. If we win this game, it's going to be because despite my plays, not because of them. Never feels good, but a win's a win. Especially when we're playing a very janky deck. Alright. Roll a 2, gives us a boost that is meaningless. Sleight of hand does nothing, so we pass turn. Oh, I feel like a fool. We may get away with it though. Again, cloth cocoon there. I'm not sure that's a choice. Probably should have talked it out because I have no idea what I'm doing. I've gone completely off the rails. Still technically ahead, but against a very concerningly strong deck. Alright, they're going to boost a thing. Reserve, what are you going to do? Entirely expected. Alright. If we let them helping hand, they're going to exhaust something else in reserve. If we sleight of hand the Hathor back, we can return the Mage Dancer to our hand. Alright, we've got options here, but what are we going to start with? I think if we wait and let them use that helping hand, we're going to end up with a lot of things in reserve. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to pivot. I'm going to take the Mage Dancer back to hand. We'll play Martingale, because all good things start with a Martingale. This has not been my best game, but we are running by the skin of our teeth, as it seems. It's a really interesting game though. Target the aloe vera, roll a 2, get a boost, get another boost. Give the Eclut a sleep, win on this side, put a whole bunch of things in reserve. Kind of want to figure out a way. We start next turn, so we can actually get the Sandman back. So I think we get rid of these two. We keep the Sandman and try and do something interesting. This is not the position we wanted to be in though. We'll play Esmeralda. Got a Lyra festival. They may not want to let us do that either. We can't exchange Nyala now. Oh, I'm so curious to see where this game goes. We'll sleep the Eclut again. I don't think we really have any other choice. It's getting way too big. They'll play their Seringa from reserve, give it another 1 boost. Probably sleep something, see what they want to achieve. Oh, I'm so curious to see what happens. They're stressing me out by taking so much time. Yep, they give it its counters. That was always going to happen. Gaming mode activated. I've now leaned forward in my chair. I'm sorry I'm not talking through all of this. I've really run out of things to say. I'm sure a much better player than me would be able to tell everyone exactly what's potentially in their hand. I'm not sure what they're thinking about. They might be thinking about getting rid of my Lyra Festival again, although they have to know that that as an option is not really available as a win con right now. Alright, what's in your hand? Don't have anything in hand to swap with Nyala, so it's just a 3-point creature. What are you going to do about it? Isunboshi. Okay. Got nothing else they can play. We tap Nevenka. Do we get a 3? Oh my god. Oh my god, I think we did it. Look at us go. This deck is far too stressful for me to play. My heart cannot take it. We'll hit him with the GGs. That game was much closer than it looked. We'll look at the final situation again. What, they were two expeditions away and we ended up getting there? Whew, GGs. On to the next one. I'm going to take a break from this one. The next one will probably get recorded in tomorrow because I am stuffed after that one. Hey everyone, game 3, Festy 2, Nevenka and Blotch. I'm going to keep going with it, see if we can keep the win streak going after that absolute heater of a game. That one was a stressy time. Need a bit of an easy one to relax if we can get there. Alright, what are we doing first? Okay. Cloth Cocoon might see some play as well as Nyala. So one of these over sleight of hand. One of these two, sorry, sleight of hand or Nyala will be the go. I think we'll get rid of that one. One of the aloe veras. Do we think Cloth Cocoon is going to play early? Or do we want to cycle through with our Martingale? Also leaves us with the question what to do first. We don't get any value out of the aloe vera. Turn 1. Alright, we'll keep the Cloth Cocoon. We'll hope they play something anchored. They go first. If they play a 3-drop, the temptation will be there just to drop it early. We're still at risk of losing to a 1-drop if we play the Martingale. Or a 2-drop actually, they got the Bountiful Meadow, so we'll play the aloe vera first. Can't pay the cost, so we'll move on. Scroll this down a little bit so we see our cards a bit better. I think we maintain parity here. Don't want to risk that 1 in 6 chance. We'll get rid of the Tanuki there. Cards have a tendency to stay out of reserve against Muna decks. You know, you can sort of clip something pretty important every now and again, but we'll see what we can get done. We've got options here. We'll play the Martingale, keep our mana open, see what we want to do. We'll see what they want to do. Meditation training, giving the Snoozer Shroom anchored. We'll swap our two cards so we get extra use out of the aloe vera. The cloth cocoon has fleeting, so it doesn't matter if it's in reserve or our hand anyway. I'll activate Nevenka and Blotch. We'll target our martingale, hope that we get a... Oh, got a 1. Managed to dodge that one there. So we'll pass turn. I think if they'd tried to contest, we could have put an extra... Huh, okay. So they actually could have won on both sides there. Interesting. Get rid of the Nyala. We've committed to the cloth cocoon now, so we'll hold on to that for a bit. See what we can get done. What do we send to mana here? I do like the idea of drawing more cards. We can do that, and this we can do Martingale and Croupier this turn. Wouldn't stop them from moving, so we'd likely go 1 to 2 here. So I think we'll get rid of that one. We'll think about what to do. Alright, this is about as good a use for the cloth cocoon that we can use here. They've used up all their mana. We'll play our Martingale, pray for the high roll again. We don't have to worry about the low roll because Martingale is my favourite card. 5! Damn. So close. We would have been in an amazing spot if we could have kept the Martingale around, actually. I would have been very impressed. Ooh. We'll get rid of the Hatter here. The sleight of hand and that one is the two cards you want in hand at the same time. So what we'll do, we'll play the aloe vera. We'll give it anchored, start looking at getting more cards next turn. This is going to be a pretty weak turn from us, but they don't know that. Now this is a choice. We could have rolled as a way to get that, 2/3 chance to buff it for next turn. Would have been good. We don't now really care about the anchored because we already have it, but that 1 in 6 chance always scares me now. They have no spindle, so we can target the Hydrocino with our Sandman if nothing else changes. They get first turn to play, so they can play the spindle here if they draw it. We'll have a resupply for the sleight of hand, see what we can do from there, but all of our cards are, you know, pretty okay. Alright, 2 Sandmans is probably too many, but then again, I do like having those. We'll get rid of Tanuki, still got not a lot going on. Alright.
Alright, what are we going to get done here? Okay, they've got 3 mana. We give the Hydrocena a sleep. We're going to have a hard time winning next turn. If we just sleep everything. Alright, Persephone. Alright, we roll. Risk it for the biscuit. Ah! Tragedy. Alright, what do we get done here? Keep their Odyssey Liaison around. Pass turn. I'm gonna be thinking about cycling through one of the Sandman back into our hand. Ah, we would have been looking real good if we'd got that boost here. Alright, say goodbye. Yeah, it was a croupier again. It's just an expensive way to draw a card. Not sure how I feel about it. Okay. Take the Sandman. Swap the Cloth Cocoon. If their card in hand is Spindle, we're a little bit stuffed, I suppose. It's pretty obvious what we're going to do here, though. Yeah, that's fine. We have to be able to do all of this in one turn. I'm actually thinking, depending on what's in their hand. Okay, so we can't play here anyway because the Sandman just doesn't play in green at all. We're just a bit behind. Depends on what the last card in their hand is. Alright, is it another Hydrocena? Yeah, it is. Sweet. Alright, we messed up here. We lost this one. Never had a chance for a Lyra festival. Never had a chance on board.
I'm sure there are some things I could have done a bit better. We'll do the thing. Probably get a boost and then pass the turn. Lose the game. Probably should have slept the Hydrocena, but would have lost in this one anyway. Oh well. GG's. There you go. I suppose that's a bit of a showcase of what the deck does when we don't get things to go our way. Might have a look at the replay of that one after I finished recording, but we'll see if there's anything to talk about with that one. Cool. On to our closing statements. See you soon. Alright, here we are. End of our 3 games with the new version 2 of Nevenka and Blotch's Lyra Festival deck. A 2-1 record, including 1 Lyra Festival win. Pretty happy with that one. We worked towards it. Sort of got away with a bit of a heist in the second game. And, sort of just got outstatted on the board by a Muna deck as well. I think we have to expect that, quite even across the board with their stats, whereas we're a little bit more variable with our zeros in some regions with our decks, and they didn't line up the way we wanted. But thoughts on the deck? I don't think the 2-1 record is quite indicative of how good the deck is. That is not me saying the deck is good. In fact, it's the other way around. I think the deck overperformed to what it would if I played, say, 100 games with it. But we'll go back to the drawing board after this little review and see how we go. Obviously, I play some games off camera as well, just to learn how I want to be playing for all of you too. So we were down a lot of removal on the previous version. 4 instances of sleep were taken out. Only 1 was put back in. Oh no, 2 were actually put back in with the hypothermia. So we're down 2 instances of sleep, but we do have to sleep our own things. I think that was a bit of a mistake. The second copy of hypothermia, if it's in hand, is just a dead card. Obviously, if you play a second one, you sleep another of your things. They're just going to sleep the same thing that they slept the first time. So, you don't really want that. Although it is a good sort of middle ground card between that tempo plan and, enabling Lyra Festival. So maybe down 1 on that one. I did enjoy Nyala and the sleight of hand, but I think 6 instances of, swapping stuff between reserve and hand might be a bit much. So we'll look at the ratios on that one. Definitely wasn't too impressed with Kadama and the Seringer in the unique slots today. Just didn't have the spells to take advantage of that. So either we're going to have to up the spell count to keep them in, or we'll look at using some different uniques in those slots as well. Already identified it in game 2, but Paper Herald's one that I'm going to be looking at trying to slot in. Very excited to play with that card. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9 instances of resupply that can put it directly into reserve, and then sleight of hand Nyala to put it in there if we do end up drawing it as well. So one of the issues that I've had with the deck is just getting to 3 creatures on board, to have 1 with sleep, 1 with fleeting, 1 with anchored, to enable the Lyra Festival at a reasonable rate of mana. Obviously, the game that we won, I think we had access to a pretty hefty sum of mana by the end of the game. And that sort of made it easy to do it all in 1 turn without having to plan too far ahead. But being able to threaten those Lyra Festival wins a little bit earlier and force your opponent to have some form of removal and compromise their board state will make it a bit easier to pilot the deck towards that in the future, and I think Paper Herald is a good starting point for that. With all the resupply, probably going to have to look at Tanuki, Croupier, Esmeralda, and the Sandman. as options. If we're gonna keep all of the sleight of hand effects in, they shouldn't be too bad. But we'll look at ratios for that one because the getting the Hatter still into reserve is a bit of a rough one. There's a deck in there. I don't think we hit it today, despite winning more games than we lost. But again, 2 out of 3. It's not statistically significant, so we'll keep going back to it. I think for the next video in this series with our Festy deck, we'll look at building what we would build if we were to take it to a tournament. Obviously, I'm probably not bringing Nevenka and Blotch to a long tournament or anything much more serious than a locals, but we'll see what we can get out of it and showcase for you. Alrighty. Watch this space. Thanks for checking in. Always appreciated. If you got any comments or you think there's anything that you would like to discuss, I am always happy to talk about this game. Drop a comment and I'll go back and watch that part of the video and see whether I agree or disagree with you. You're probably smarter than me, so it's probably going to be agreement and a bit of wonder that I didn't see it in the first place. Alright, awesome. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate you. Have a good one.